3rd and goal from the 1. Keel gives it to Boone, and he dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Bearcats!
Well, that's determination there.
Determination did help Mike Boone get into the end zone Saturday night, but there's more to it than that. And it starts off right here in the Bearcats weight room.
Yeah, we're the first ones they see when they come in here. They get in here in June, and we're getting after it right away, obviously with the acclimation phase and making sure that they can move functionally and find their deficits that we need to look for and make sure we make them stronger. But yeah, the weight room is the first place they see and make sure they're strong enough to compete on the field, explosive enough to compete on the field, reduce that risk of injury on the field, and make them a better all athlete.
Every college football team lifts weights, but it's the philosophy and the approach that make the Bearcats different.
I definitely think we focus on power a lot more than strength. We do segments of strength because the more strength you have, the more potential for power that you do have. But for us, it's how fast can you move that ball? How explosive can you be? Because that's what's really going to carry over to the field. When you look at an offensive lineman blowing up defensive lineman, you look at Mike Boone driving through the goal line, Jose Davis driving through the goal line, you look at the receiver jumping in the air, great ball skills, higher than the defensive back. The more explosive athlete's going to win.
The school of thought used to be that the biggest guy on the field would win. Not so anymore. Getting the most out of your strength is what counts. Short bursts of power or explosion is one of the main principles that the UC strength staff builds their program on.
Oh, no doubt. Football's played within 5 to 10 yards. From 5 to 10 yards, you're going to know whether you have to decelerate, change direction, jump, cut. So for us, explosion is just the most important thing you can accomplish in football.
A football team is made up of over 100 different players. That means 100 different body types and 100 different personalities. Joe Walker and his staff recognize that different position groups must be trained differently, but they also look for differences of individuals inside the position groups.
You got a 6'2" Chris Moore, who obviously is already incredibly explosive. So for him, it's going to be a lot more of mobility, how flexible are his hamstrings, how flexible, mobile are his hips. You got a Jose who's got no mobility issues whatsoever. So squatting's going to be a lot easier for him. So we'll add a lot of more accommodating resistance, reduce that momentum down for a Jose, where you're working on a lot more explosives at the bottom of the hole for Chris Moore, who's a little bit taller. So he's got to have a little more power down at the bottom of the hole, where Jose's got no problem having power at the bottom of the hole because it's the way their structure's made up. But ultimately, the end goal is to make them explosive as possible, just within different terms of how you're going to get there.
Building strength and explosive power are important, but maintaining it during an off-season or between games may be more important. That's why the Bearcats put such a strong emphasis on their recovery program.
It's the most important thing. So if we never get to recover, we're going to keep being in a deficit, keep being in a deficit, keep being in a deficit. We're never going to climb out of the hole and play with fresh legs. Okay, so for us, the more fresh your legs are, as fast and explosive we are, we need to maintain that. We don't want to make our kids go in there handicapped, and just because I beat on my chest and I'm a strength coach and I want them to squat and I want them to squat, you obviously reduce the risk of injury. But if they don't have fresh legs, well, we're increasing that risk of injury. So recovery is one of the most important things, recovery and nutrition.
Work on two, 1, 2. Work.